Raymond.
I'm John.
And you're listening to Foulin Out. It's the first episode. Big news. How you doing, John?
I'm doing all right. Just had a great day today. Beautiful outside after those first few days of the week were just blistering cold. But a nice 60, 61 out there today. Really enjoyed the weather. Took a nice walk.
It's beautiful. That's really wholesome.
Oh, definitely wholesome. Got to see a few dogs as well. How was your day, man?
It's pretty good. I don't know if you remember, but we just got back from a basketball game.
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, it was a great game. We got to see some ACC basketball going on. We got to see them Louisville Cardinals take on the Virginia Tech Hokies, an undermanned Virginia Tech Hokie team. Yeah. Unfortunately, the Hokies took the L in that one, but played valiantly to the bitter end. Yeah. They got a next game at Clemson this coming Saturday. Hopefully, we'll see them win that one.
Well, that was a big game, but wasn't as big as the game as yesterday. That's what we're here to talk about, right?
That's definitely right. Even though I wasn't personally okay with the outcome, I'm not a huge Patriots fan. I know somebody in this room is definitely loving this result.
Oh, yeah. I feel like we got to take a step back and sort of talk about who we are. Who is Foulin Out? This is the first episode after all, so...
yeah, that's a great idea.
All right. I'll just introduce myself. My name is Raymond. As I previously mentioned, I was born and raised a Boston fan, as my father is from Rhode Island. Why are you laughing, John?
I'm not laughing. I mean, you're not from Boston. You're just from outside the DC area. You just Boston fan, wannabe.
Are you trying to insinuate that I am a bandwagon fan?
No, of course not, because I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and I'm not from Pittsburgh, so I'm not blaming you. Just giving you a little bit of crap since your team won.
Yeah, so, I'm Patriots fan, Red Sox, Celtics, but obviously as a Virginia Tech student, big fan of Virginia Tech teams. Would you agree with that statement, John?
Oh, of course. I'm a huge Virginia Tech fan, and you are a true Virginia Tech fan, too. Pretty much every other sport, though, you're just a total jerk.
Oh, okay.
But
that's fair enough.
For everybody else out there who isn't a Patriots fan, and I think I'm speaking to most of our listeners, I'm just a Steelers fan. Love Pittsburgh sports. Born and raised. One of the first football games I actually remember as a little kid was Steelers Superbowl when they faced the Seahawks, and Antoine Randall threw that behind a lateral pass for a touchdown. One of my favorite memories of the Steelers.
A classic one. I also remember that game. I was watching that, yeah.
Yeah, and huge Pirates fan. I wear a Pirates hat every day for the past...
You wear a Pirates hat every day. This man, he wears it so frequently. If I see someone on campus they got a P hat on, a Pirates hat, I'm like, oh, it's John. And then I look at their face, and it's clearly not John, but you've just trained me to believe anyone with a Pirates hat is you.
Well, I mean, it's just the look that I have, and I own it. I love it. I've worn it every day since the beginning of high school. But
I'm not trying to call you out, but you're not wearing it right now.
I am not. I'm a bit. It's late at night. I want to let my hair just be free for a few hours. Out.
Yeah, that's understandable.
But now that you've gotten to know a little bit about what teams we root for, we just want to let the listener know, why we're here. We're just a couple college students doing what we love. We've grown up with sports ever since we were born, and we just want to talk about them because we always have some talks on the side after games and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think happened in the game?
Yeah. Why not yell it into a mic for people to listen to? Because that's what you do nowadays. That's what, anyone can have a podcast, so why not us?
So why not? And why not listen to us too?
Yeah, exactly. So what do you got to lose?
Exactly.
Your sanity? Probably.
I mean, maybe. But who knows? You could learn something out of it.
Probably not. But maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, there's always a chance. Always a chance.
Yeah, you never know. All right. You ready to get into this?
I'm ready to get into this.
You ready to
Let's
delve
do this.
Deep into this magnificent game.
Oh God, I don't know if magnificent is the word. Maybe slow, maybe boring, maybe just downright.
All I know is we got the dub.
You got the dub. Once again, clarification: he is a Patriots fan.
I do not want to say I got the dub because I technically did not take the field, although I did sweat like I did. I was drenched after the game.
You weren't as bad as other Super Bowls, but mainly
quite.
this one was just pretty outright boring. There wasn't really a whole bunch of stuff to get your panties in a wad about. It was just 3-0 for 3 quarters almost.
Yeah, I mean, this is when I look at this game, it's really Belichick's masterpiece. But I don't want to get into that quite yet. We got to talk about the bigger issues, the commercials.
The commercials, and once again, it's Super Bowl after Super Bowl. It's more of a letdown every year. I mean, there was a few good ones. There were a few good ones, like the Devour food commercial.
I did like that one was good. Yeah. The
but
Peanuts one, the Planters Peanuts or whatever. Is that what it's called?
Planters Peanuts. Yes. Yeah, that one was a pretty good one. I like that.
I like that one well enough.
But they took the full version of the Devour commercial out, and they only played a 30-second version. They took it out. They took the full version down because it included the word food porn.
That's illegal.
Oh.
That's illegal.
Doesn't inherit a nice atmosphere for family fun, does it?
No, but I'll tell you what does.
I'm listening. I'm listening. Oh, tell me.
Halftime, Adam Levine ripping that shirt off.
Oh, give me some of that.
Yeah, if that's not food porn, then I guess it's just regular porn, honestly.
Yeah, and that's totally family friendly.
Family friendly.
Just fun
for the whole family.
All those tats on them,
California.
If you're 12 years old, just go get them.
Yeah.
Instant. You'll become a huge hit in the next 10 years.
Yeah, everyone will love you.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. That was the best part about the halftime show, other than completely disrespecting the entire SpongeBob. I know we have to bring it up.
It's just blatant disrespect from a man who his whole life all he did was make children smile, and this is how they treat him. This is how they do him by playing sicko mode.
First of all, they showed the clip.
Yeah.
They showed the intro of Sweet Sweet Victory. They had the trumpets, and then they switched it to sicko mode. Also, by the way, some of the worst special effects I've ever seen.
When they're coming down in like the blaze of glory, it's just like, oh my God.
Because the meteor or whatever it was, the big ball of fire just started coming down from the sky like at a pretty fast speed. And then when it got inside the stadium, it just went to like 2 miles per hour. Mm-hmm. It was just I didn't like it at all. I absolutely hated it.
Yeah, I was not a big fan. Gonna be honest.
Not many people liked it either. Going on Twitter, Reddit boards, nobody liked it. Especially the blatant disrespect to Steven Hillenburg. May he rest in peace.
Rip.
But anyway, that's enough for the unfortunate halftime show and some of the less than stellar commercials.
Yeah.
But let's actually get into it. So
yeah, the game. There was a game played. I don't know if you remember.
It's very hard to remember since barely any scoring was done. But coming into this game, everybody was thinking this is Sean McVay's turn to, change the NFL for good. Yeah. He's going up against the old vanguard, the Patriots.
Bill Belichick,
Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, the people who have been there in past 3 Super Bowls now.
Yep.
The people the team that everybody's expecting to win. But is this the time that offense, really just starts to take over and cement itself as the mainstay of the NFL?
Yeah.
And that was just completely blown out of the water.
It is incredible that in a season that had so many offensive records broken, you had a guy like Patrick Mahomes, who I love. He's an incredible quarterback, and he will be a guy that runs the AFC once Brady hangs him up. But he's a second-year quarterback. I mean, basically a rookie. He played a couple games at the end of last year once they decided to sit Smith, but he threw for 50 touchdowns, and that just shouldn't happen. Like, no matter how good the offense is with a young quarterback, this is a league that favors the offense incredibly in terms of rules, in terms of just the skill position and the way guys coach nowadays.
Yeah, and exactly people who want to actually play on the offense, too. There's more talent. The guys are bigger. The guys are more physical, faster. It's getting harder for a lot of cornerbacks and a lot of defenses to plan against a lot of these teams because there's just so much talent. But let's get right into the game. So let's take us down. The first drive, Patriots are going down. It's everybody thinks like, oh, here goes Tom Brady.
He hadn't thrown a pass, but they had run it with Michelle and I believe Burkhead once or twice, and
Cordell Patterson as well.
Oh yeah, and they were moving down the field. Yeah. And then
Brady just threw an errant pass that intended for Hogan, and what a great play by Littleton too to get that interception. That was off a tip drill.
Yeah, it's a classic tip drill. I mean, Brady knew it as soon as he threw it. If you look at the replay, I mean, I think Romo mentioned this too. The ball comes out like very wobbly, and like, I mean, you can say Brady's not throwing him as tight as he used to, but they're not supposed to look like that, and it's because he's trying to pull it back at the last second because he realized it was man coverage, and he got fooled. You got to give credit where credit is due. He got fooled. He made a bad pass, and classic tip drill, and it ended in a pick for the Rams.
Yeah, and there were a lot of throws that Brady that were pretty errant on a few occasions. But give credit to the Rams defense because this is an ongoing theme that we saw in this game. Both defenses showed up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can talk about the offense's inability to move the ball, and there were mistakes made strictly by the offenses, but two great defensive game plans. I mean, Wade Phillips, fantastic coach, and, obviously Belichick and Flores going to do their thing. Unfortunately, Flores is going to be playing for the Dolphins, or coaching for the Dolphins next year, but, what a swan song for him as a send-off.
Yeah, and then Rams get the ball back. They have momentum and instantly go 3-0.
Yep.
We saw Todd Gurley get a 2-yard gain on that first run.
Yep.
And then Goff just looked scared. He didn't look like he was ready for the moment. I think the lights were a bit too bright for him.
I mean, it had been that way the last few weeks with Gurley's quote-unquote not injury, clearly
what's up
injured.
With that?
It's going to be very interesting to see the story behind that in the coming weeks, what they say. Because I mean, throughout the game, they kept saying he's not injured, but he got 11 touches the whole game, which is insane if he's not injured, right?
Yeah, he was quoted after the game as saying he felt good. So there must be something going on that maybe we don't know. Maybe they're keeping him out. Maybe because he doesn't feel good at times with his knee injury or something.
Yeah, it was apparently a knee injury that kept him out the last 2 games of the regular season. I know as someone that had him in their fantasy on their fantasy team.
Oh, here we go, fantasy.
We're not going to be touching fantasy in this podcast. I don't believe, but
not today. We may cover it, in the future.
Who knows? Who knows what the future holds?
So Johnny Hecker punted away, and this guy was killing it for the Rams.
Oh yeah, Hecker versus Allen, the greatest matchup of this Super Bowl.
If the Rams ended up winning that game, but somehow the MVP had to either go to him or Greg the Leg.
Oh yeah,
no question. But anyway, the Pats get the ball back, driving down the field. A few good throws to Edelman, a few good runs by Burkhead, and they end up stalling out on around the 30-yard line for the Rams. And instantly, this Gostowski comes out, fourth down. God. They throw the stat up there, 31 of 31.
They've never missed the stadium all season.
Oh, and Jim Nantz, if the Patriots ended up losing that game,
I would have come for his head.
Wow, that's pretty bold. But I mean, if I were Jim Nantz, I would feel awful Because you're not supposed to say stuff like that.
Yeah, you know the announcer jinx. Look, the announcer jinx is real, people.
It's definitely real.
How can you deny just straight facts?
Exactly, but the Steelers-Browns game, week 1,
Mm-hmm.
the announcers did the same thing, and
Yep.
they ended up missing like 4 or 5 kicks that game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, both kickers are pretty bad. I mean, I'm not giving any credit to Chris Boswell for missing a whole bunch of kicks that
Who's
game.
the other kicker for the Browns in the beginning? I can't remember his name, but he
remember
got
his
cut
name.
very quickly after that.
I mean, the Browns had a good season, but I don't know anybody on their team other than maybe Baker Mayfield. Nobody really worth mentioning.
What are you talking?
I mean, have a winning season for once, and then maybe I'll know a few more players on your team.
Then we'll start pretending to care.
But anyway, Rams get the ball back again.
Punt.
And yeah, they just punt.
Punt.
They had
8 punts in a row to start the game.
Yeah, 8 punts in a row. I think 9. They had 9 punts
total
in a row. Yeah.
But they had 8, and then they got the field goal, I think.
Yeah, and just huge sacks, huge tackles. The defense was just absolutely on point the entire game for the Patriots.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I had been asking for Hightower to step up because he has not played well this season, and I don't blame him. I mean, he's getting older, and he's struggled through a lot of injuries. He's still, the defensive coordinator on the field for them, but he hadn't really made a ton of big plays throughout the season. But in this game, he showed up. I got to give him credit. He did drop the one pick. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, yeah.
He had it in his hands and he dropped it. But overall, a great game.
Wouldn't really have mattered. I mean, overall, they were lights out on defense.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually, the Pats go down, get a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a lot of occasions where they were just driving down the field. They would string together 2 or 3 first downs.
Oh, yeah.
And then stall out, sort of like around the 40-yard line or around midfield.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was a battle of field position this whole entire game. And Hecker was just punting them in, behind the 20-yard line a lot of times. So Brady always had a lot of field that he had to go down and work with.
Yeah.
But just the Rams defense too, to be able to come up drive after drive and continue to stop a good Patriots offense, a very underrated Patriots offense, while your team is giving you zip.
Yeah.
Hats off to Ndamukong Suh, Aaron Donald, the Rams secondary. Everybody on the Rams defense deserves credit for allowing the Rams to stay in that game and only allow 13 points from the Patriots. Because if you told me at the beginning of the game, if I'm Sean McVay, that Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, Sony Michel, they're only going to get 13 points. I would think that, we're going to win this game.
Oh, yeah.
Easy. We're going to win this game by 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
But really what came up for the Rams was just the inability to do anything on offense. And that comes back to Jared Goff and Sean McVay, really.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Belichick is notorious for taking these young blood quarterbacks to school, right? He has done it time and time again. Credit to Mahomes. He put up 2 good fights this season. But Belichick knows how to beat inexperienced quarterbacks. Because if you're not a guy like Brady that can look at a defense, know what coverage is being run, and he's going to throw a lot of different stuff at you. It's not going to be, you're getting zone, you're getting man. He's going to mix it up. And that's what he did this game. He ran a lot of different type of zone coverages with man mixed in. They doubled Woods most of the game, and they let Gilmore go to work on Cooks.
Yep.
That was huge, because being able to double Woods takes away so much. Gilmore locking down Cooks for the majority of the game opened up so much for that secondary. Because it just means you have an extra guy to work with.
Opened up for the secondary, more like the defensive line. They were able to get tons of pressure on Goff, too.
Yeah, and they were able to, because that also helps the secondary. They would rush for a lot, and they were able to get to Goff.
Yep.
And that's, guys like Van Noy and the guys on the front lines like Guy, for example. He had a great game.
Yeah, and really, when you look at Jared Goff's stats, 19 of 38, 229 yards, a pick, and 4 sacks. That shows you that Bill Belichick he accomplished his mission in like disrupting his mental processing, disrupting his receivers on the field. He took away Cooks for a good part of the game. He took away Robert Woods. Brandon Cooks, to be fair, did end up with 8 receptions for 120 yards. But he only had completions to 5 people. He didn't distribute the ball well at all, showing that something was going wrong with him. And I think a lot of the questions are lingering, like, can Goff perform under pressure? Because he didn't have a great game against the Saints either.
No, he didn't. And what the league has discovered is if you're not afraid of that play action against the Rams, Goff isn't going to deliver. If you can take away that run game, if you can neutralize the effect of the play action, then Goff hasn't shown that he has an ability to pick apart a defense when they're ready. Because what play action, obviously everyone knows play action is, it brings the secondary in just for a second, just enough that your wide receiver can get that like half an inch of separation that just makes it that much easier for a quarterback to complete a pass.
Yeah, and receivers to get open. But mainly, their run game didn't develop well at all.
Because of Gurley. Gurley was hurt.
Gurley was hurt, quote unquote. He wasn't utilized a whole lot. Only 10 rushes. C.J. Anderson only got 7 touches. None of their running backs broke for more than 40 yards total. And when you can't run the ball, you can't do play action. And Tony Romo pointed it out while we were watching the game. Rams were just dropping back. Not doing play action, not running the ball a lot, and he pointed out this is not who the Rams are, and that's what got him. Bill Belichick turned the Rams into a team that is not the Rams, and that's basically how the Patriots won. Boring as hell, but the strategy worked. Even though there were a lot of offensive mistakes, a lot of offensive stalls, the defense got the job done.
Yes. And looking at the offense for the Patriots, I mean, the offense looked like they did in the regular season. Like, we kind of forgotten that, I don't want to say 11-5 is a bad record, but it is a bad record for Brady and Belichick. 11-5 is a solid season for
pretty much any other franchise.
Yeah. But when you've won 12 plus games for, I don't know, the last like 8 seasons or something, going 11-5 feels like the end of the world. And they lost to some bad teams, and they had an inability to put up points in those games. Lions, they put up 10. Steelers, they put up 10. Titans, I don't remember exactly, but it was less than 20.
They had a lot of head scratchers.
Yes.
They shouldn't have lost, like losing by that much to Detroit. Why? It makes you ask, like, how do the Patriots lose to Detroit?
Yeah.
How does Matthew Stafford beat the Patriots defense and Tom Brady? That doesn't happen. The Steelers one also sort of a head scratcher.
10 points in one of the biggest games of the season. You put up 10 points. It's insane.
Yeah, and one that the Patriots, even though I'm a Steelers fan, Patriots usually get that one.
Yeah.
Even in Heinz Field.
Yeah.
And of course the Miami Miracle. That's just a total fluke.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have had Gronk back there as safety, but
Gronk with his quote peg-legged self out there.
Yeah, club elbow too.
Yeah.
He's wearing
his
that
bionic arm.
Oh yeah.
Just warming it up.
But I do have to give credit to where credit is due. The New England rushing attack, very good.
Which it had not been. I mean, they were always good at getting pressure. We were a pretty bad team in getting sacks.
Yeah. But talking about the run game, really.
Yeah.
Sony Michel, 18 carries, 94 yards, and the only touchdown of the game.
He looked great.
Oh, yeah. Sony Michel was basically one of the huge keys for the Patriots offense in order to get going. Credit to Julian Edelman, yes, for coming up with all the 10 receptions, 141 yards.
MVP, and he earned it.
I mean, there's a strong argument to be made for the Patriots defense as the Super Bowl MVP.
Just a collective one.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it was one of the greatest defensive performances in the Super Bowl.
Of course. And if the Patriots defense has any takeaway from this, it's just like, yeah. All of us, if they could award the MVP award to 11 players, they would have awarded it to all 11 of us on defense. Even after Chung. Even Chung, after breaking his arm. Harmon played a great game.
Oh, yeah. The closer.
Yeah, and then, of course, the play to end the game, the Stephon Gilmore interception.
Did you hear what he said about that?
Oh, no.
He said that was one of the easiest picks of my life or something.
It looked really easy.
When I listened to it, it didn't sound like he was, trying to be like an asshole. It just was like, he was just stating an objective fact. Like, oh yeah, that was like he floated it into the air and I caught it.
Yeah, the ball was completely underthrown, mainly due to the pressure that they got on Goff. Brandon Cooks didn't look back in time, so he couldn't contest the interception, and Gilmore was just right there.
Mm-hmm.
Easy. He's definitely right to say that was an easy pick.
Oh, yeah. I will say this game, for a moment at the end there, I was starting to worry when the fourth down, when they had like a minute and like 40 seconds left, and they had to settle for, and like that weird thing where
the Patriots, to be clear, the Patriots 4th and 1.
Yes.
With a minute 20 or something left to go.
Not 4th and 1, 4th and this much. You can't see what I'm doing, but it's like very small amount. Like the ball looked like it was touching.
It's like the
marker.
width of my hair. Like
Yeah.
like a hair on my head. Like that's how close it was.
Yeah, I just like, can't they just make it easy for once? I would just love to like sit here and just know that the clock's gonna run out, but no, of course. I mean, at least Gostkowski made the field goal.
Yeah, I mean, like you have to be relieved after that. And then the Rams go on a drive and waste the entire clock, and then miss the field goal at the end.
I was
there.
surprised. I thought they were gonna have a chance to go for an onside kick. If they got that onside kick, I would have turned the TV off and walked out onto a balcony and just jumped off.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely, of course.
To be fair, I have to mention this. This does break the record for lowest points in a Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, 14-7.
14, Dolphins, Redskins.
What year was it? Was that the undefeated season?
That was the undefeated Dolphins season. Yeah, back in the 70s. What do you think? What do you think about this Super Bowl in terms of just like what this does for? Because everybody's talking about offense, high power offense. You see the Rams Chiefs go 50 points each, almost set a record for points.
I remember I was watching that game in my bed. I was texting you. I was watching on my laptop and texting you, and I was like, "Oh, what did I say?" I was saying something like the defense just scored a touchdown. I was like, man, these teams are so good at offense that even the defenses play offense. I'm sorry, that's not that funny, but
it's funny to me, and I think it's funny to some of our viewers at least.
Oh, thank you.
We may take a poll from them and see if it was funny or not, and then we may vote to see if you're allowed to be funny at all.
Yeah,
after
I'll put
that.
up a Twitter poll.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Get that started on Twitter. But in overall, this was a game entirely about defense. In an NFL where you think everything is about offense.
I mean, everyone's hiring the next Sean McVay. That's what everyone's going out there and doing. And a lot of these guys have already made their hire, and then they see Sean McVay just put up 3 points in a Super Bowl. Yeah. That's really bad.
Yeah. On the biggest stage.
Yeah.
That for all the world to see. Even though this was the lowest Super Bowl viewing since the 2007 Super Bowl. According to a ESPN article that
what was the 2007 Super Bowl?
The 2007 Super Bowl, well, the 2007 season.
That was the Patriots, though. What do you?
Yeah, it was one of the lowest Super Bowls in like.
No one watched the Patriots Giants.
Well, there wasn't as many people on the earth as there are now.
I'm not buying it.
And people with TVs. You have
what
to
about
incorporate
Super Bowl
that.
1?
Well, I don't know if they have. We have to go back. I'll get the.
Yeah, John, figure this out.
Yeah,
come on.
Okay. I'll try and come up with some of these stats. You're putting me under some intense
I'm
pressure
sorry,
right now.
All right, you're right.
Oh my god, I'm sweating. I don't know if you guys can't tell.
You
but
took
I'm
your shirt off, John. Put your shirt back on. Jesus Christ.
Gee, I have to do something. It's really hot in here. Sorry. We said that at the same time. All right, but anyway, why did New England win this game? Like,
why did they win this game?
Overall, what in the end made it able for New England to win this game in the end?
I'll say 2 things. 2 things. One, the first one, Belichick's master game plan. And it was this whole playoffs. I mean, you look at the Chargers game. I mean, it was 31-0 before you knew it.
Yep.
It was garbage time in the second quarter when the Chargers scored.
31-7. 31-7. They did get one touchdown.
Yeah. So the game was over before they scored. So great defensive performance. I know they ended up scoring like 20-some points, but that was fantastic. It put the game away early. Then you look at the Chiefs. They didn't give up any points in the first half, but they kind of shit the bed there in the second quarter, fourth quarter, or the second half, fourth quarter. And then you look at this game, 3 points in the Super Bowl. I mean, Belichick was impeccable, and I think it makes up for a lot of what happened in the last Super Bowl where he decided to bench Malcolm Butler for whatever reason.
Yeah. Defensive execution and the effectiveness of Bill Belichick's gameplay or game plan.
And
that's what won it for him.
Yeah. And the second thing I'll say is that one drive. Brady did not play a great game. We can all agree on that. I love Brady, greatest quarterback of all time. He did not play a great game. I think this makes up for the fact that he threw for 500 yards in Super Bowl 52 and lost. So, I think in terms of karma, Brady is neutral right now.
Yeah. If somebody came up to you and say, like, yeah, the Patriots are going to put up 33 points in this game, everybody thinks, oh, yeah, we're going to lose that game. But you end up winning by, like, 41. Or you end up winning 41-33, the last year's Super Bowl, the Eagles. Yeah. And then this game, if somebody came up to you and say, yeah, Bill Belichick's only going to put up 13 points on you. Mm-hmm.
You're like, we win.
Yeah, and nope, not this year, buddy.
Yeah, and so like I was saying, the second point is that one drive that they put together. He was impeccable on that drive, and the one throw that I look to is that throw to Gronk that got him down to the 2-yard line was fantastic. I mean, there's 3 guys there, and he put it right in perfect spot as
vintage Brady.
Vintage Brady. When you need him most, he's there. I mean, obviously this is, you got to score to win sort of thing, but like no one had been able to put together a drive, and he went out there in the fourth quarter and did it like he always does.
And credit to Julian Edelman too.
Oh yeah,
all those crucial catches.
Dude takes so many hits. He just gets up. He loves it. He loves getting hit. He's going to die on that field one day.
Just like Brady is.
Yeah. Brady doesn't get hit anymore. He's just going to die from, old age.
Yeah. He's going to be, 65 out there. He's just like, where's my pension? And then just, the wind will take him down. But, so let's move on to this, a new segment that we to call. It's based off of our podcast named Foulin Out, and we want to talk about who fouled out.
Who fouled out?
So basically, what this is, whose performance caused the team to lose.
All right, I'll let you go first.
So basically, in my opinion, it was Jared Goff. Mm-hmm. He was not cool under pressure. The Patriots defense and Bill Belichick got to him, and he wasn't able to find any men open downfield or string together any drive whatsoever. And when you also don't have a run game that's stable or that you can rely on, especially one running back, because Jared Goff had Todd Gurley for the entire regular season as Todd Gurley's just going to go down there and, rack up 100 yards a game, get me a whole bunch of touchdowns too. It relieves some of the pressure on Goff. So when you don't have that, you're going up against Bill Belichick and the Patriots defense.
Pretty scary.
All that pressure just on your shoulders for one person, plus the questions going into the season of whether Goff can actually perform under pressure. The media does have an impact on how some people play.
Yeah.
Especially for younger guys. Inexperienced quarterbacks like Goff. I'm not saying he's completely without experience, but relatively green in terms of just, overall. He's no Tom Brady who's been there for 20-plus seasons.
Doing it since before Jared Goff can remember.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
he was a little kid.
8,
yeah,
whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. But as Jared Goff, though, you take this as a learning moment. You
have to.
You
can't beat yourself up.
No.
It'll ruin your career.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the best defensive minds of all time. Mm-hmm. You're going up against one of the greatest dynasties of all time, too. He only put up 3 points. This will haunt you for a while, but you didn't make any crucial mistakes to cause your team to lose the game. But you didn't contribute to anything that would help your team to win the game either. So, in my opinion, that's who fouled out for me.
Jared Goff. That's a good answer. I'm gonna take a similar approach, and I'm gonna go with Sean McVay. I think a lot.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, I think a lot. Oh, cracking open a cold one.
You got to a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes.
'Tis the season. It's our first episode.
It is a Monday night, but you know what? I'm gonna allow it.
But go on, Sean McVay. Why?
You know what? Actually, you fouled out. That's my answer. No,
come on.
All right, Sean McVay. I'm going with Sean McVay because either he had to have known something was wrong with Gurley. Because it's been going on for the past few weeks. You have to come up with a game plan that's going to account for the fact that Gurley's not going to be there. It's not like you don't have any other weapons. This is one of the deepest rosters. Offensively.
C.J. Anderson.
Yeah. Even, they got some, Cooks and Woods, both great receivers.
You can use them in end arounds, use them screens. The screen was effective there.
When Patriots had Cooks, they loved to run end arounds with him because he's so fast. You have to get the ball in the hands of your guys that can make the plays, and he just didn't have a counter. Belichick had mostly run a lot of man coverage, or like coverages that favored man-to-man, and you had to have known he was going to switch it up against the Rams, because Rams struggled against zone, and you think Sean McVay is just going to be like, Belichick, he probably doesn't know that. You have to be able to be ready to counter whatever Belichick comes out with.
Make adjustments, too. Yeah. He didn't make any
There
adjustments.
was no adjustments made. He tried to... There was one drive where he gave Gurley the ball like 3 times in a row, but that was it. That was all I saw.
Didn't see anything different in overall offensive scheme. Defensively, it was pretty much on point. Yep. It wasn't like the Chiefs where they were just playing zone the entire game and getting beat over the middle by Edelman.
Yeah.
So at least there were defensive adjustments made. But
McVay doesn't.
He doesn't do.
It's Wade.
It's Wade Phillips that does the defense for him.
So, I mean, obviously he's the head coach, so you got to give some credit for that. But yeah, that's who I got to go with, Sean McVay, and he's also young, and I think he'll learn from this. Rams are a good team. They're gonna be fine.
Oh yeah. Did you see that ESPN power rankings though? Oh. They still have him as number 1.
This is what I mean. The New England Patriots get the most hate from media, and I understand it. Listen, I understand nobody likes a dynasty in its time. I mean, obviously, when you go back, people talk about the Cowboys, the Niners, and Jordan, and there's a lot of respect.
The 70s Steelers. Give us some respect.
Oh, yeah. You look at some of these dynasties, and there's a lot of respect for them. But everyone knows at the time that everyone hated Jordan. No one liked the Cowboys when they were winning. I mean, no one likes the Cowboys now either, but
they did it to themselves, really.
But, man, ranking the Patriots 4th after they just won the Super Bowl and they have, 12 draft picks or something? I'm not even... Or, they have 5 in the first 3 rounds, at least.
Something pretty high.
They're only going to get better. At least next season, unless Brady... I'm not going to say it, but...
Gets injured or retires?
Well, he's not retiring. He said 0. 0 was when he was asked.
Yeah, why spend time with your family when you can go win more Super Bowls?
Win rings, baby.
Yeah, gotta fill out the second hand there. You only got one on them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in my opinion, how can the Patriots be lower than 3rd? I understand if you can put the Saints and the Chiefs ahead of them. Yeah. Both of them have loaded the Saints have a loaded defense and a loaded offense too. Mm-hmm. Patrick Mahomes is going to be the future for the Kansas City Chiefs as well. But how can you...
Yeah, I will admit. I mean, I know I'm a delusional Patriots fan, but I will say the Chiefs, I think, were the best team objectively in the NFL. They did lose, but...
I don't know about were the Chiefs the best team. They had an awful defense. An awful defense.
Their offense was just so potent, though, that it felt like they could steamroll any team.
Yeah, I in my opinion, I would have said the Saints.
Okay.
Overall,
that's also...
respectable. Mm-hmm. I mean, But anyway, let's back away from the Super Bowl. 13-3. Pretty boring overall, but still a defensive struggle. Yep. And yes, you got your 6th ring. Congratulations.
Now we're tied with the Steelers.
Oh, yeah, that legendary franchise, But anyway, let's move on to our final segment, which is the Big 3 questions. This is where each of us comes up with 3 questions about this subject is going to be about the NFL offseason and the season to come. Yeah. So, Raymond, why don't you hit me with your first question?
All right, first question we got. There's a lot of young quarterbacks in the league right now.
Oh, yeah, a lot of young quarterbacks.
Specifically, we're going to be talking about the rookies from this previous season. Which ones are going to step up next season? Which ones are going to, hit that sophomore slump?
Well, I think Lamar Jackson has a great opportunity because I don't know what's going to be going on there in Baltimore. With
Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco. That's actually going to be a question for you to answer coming up here. But I'll leave. We'll back off Lamar Jackson. Okay, right now. Sam Darnold has the most potential, I feel. He has a lot of the natural abilities that you want to see. The Jets are going to be building around him, too. So I have a lot of hope for Sam Darnold. Baker Mayfield as well. Browns are coming back.
I hope.
I don't. I always like the Steelers to get 2 automatic wins or a tie and a win. Oh, my God. Jesus. Kick Boswell off the team. But Josh Rosen, and Josh Allen, I think their egos get in the way of them. Both of them had problems with their egos during the season, and a lot of players don't like Josh Allen up in Buffalo. A lot of people say he's full of himself.
No.
He has the arm talent, but a lot of those guys with that big arm talent, like Jay Cutler, a lot of them don't end up being the best quarterbacks. The best quarterbacks, Tom Brady, Joe Montana, they didn't have the biggest arm.
Nope.
But they won the rings, and that's what mattered. People rallied around them. Yeah.
You gotta be smart. You gotta be able to step up in the pocket.
Yeah. So my picks for ones that'll make the leap to stardom, I got Lamar Jackson and Sam Darnold. You can quote me on that. And then the ones that'll take a sophomore slump, I'm saying Josh Rosen and Josh Allen.
Okay.
So moving on, I got my first question for you.
Right.
What is the future for the Joe Flacco, John Harbaugh era in Baltimore? Is it over, or
I think it's over.
Wow.
I think Joe Flacco, he ends up, maybe even on the Redskins.
Oh, maybe. They're looking for that old veteran to be on their team.
If Alex Smith really is done, his career is over, I can see Joe Flacco going to the Redskins. I'm not sure exactly how the salary works in that case, because obviously Alex Smith is owed a lot of money. But if he is officially retired from football, I don't know how much of that money is guaranteed. I'm not really sure how that works exactly.
Do you think Joe Flacco and John Harbaugh are hand in hand? If one goes, the other's going to go?
No, I don't.
That's sort of one of the storylines that was going on this season. But
I think Harbaugh will stay if management wants him to.
He's a good coach.
He is a very good coach, and his brother down there in Michigan, I think he got a raw deal by the Niners. Sometimes just coaches run their course with a franchise, but I think if the Ravens still want him, he'll stay, and I think it'll be good, especially with a young quarterback, a veteran coach to sort of help him through that learning process.
Yeah. Nowhere but up for Baltimore, pretty much. Unless,
I hope. I don't like Baltimore, but I like I like to see young quarterbacks do well. It's fun. It's because it's the changing league, new faces coming in. So I hope for the best for Lamar Jackson.
Except when they're playing Tom Brady, of course.
Of course. And let's be clear, I don't like Harbaugh, but he is a good coach.
All right, that's a good answer. Good answer. So what's your second question for me?
Yeah. I got you with another one.
All right,
this one's pretty specific. I'm gonna ask you about Minnesota because that was a huge story. A lot of people thought they were gonna be Super Bowl contenders, and they didn't even make the playoffs. So how do they get back to the NFC Championship game? How does Cousins lead them to the promised land, and can they?
That's a good question. Can Cousins even do it?
Yeah,
he couldn't do it with the Redskins.
I'm also a Redskins fan. I've watched a lot of their games. Love Cousins. does not tend to show up in the big games.
Yeah, and I think Minnesota's problems, they sort of reside with, just overall consistency. Because what did they finish with? They finished, 8-7-1? Or somewhere
8-7-1.
Yeah. They blew their chance to get into the playoffs. The Eagles took that by winning the final game of the regular season, and the Vikings blew it. The thing is, I don't know if they can get back to the NFC Championship. The NFC North is too good.
Oh, yeah.
You got the Bears with, if they didn't have that double doink by Cody Parkey, they are in the NFC divisional round. You've got Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, who's going to have a better season with a new head coach. They're going to be back to where they used to be. So, and then, the Lions always give people fits, but, never are real contenders.
Yeah.
They may steal a game. So I don't know if they can go back to the NFC Championship. I don't know what it'll take. It's going to take something from Cousins that we haven't seen.
Yep.
Because all that we've seen is, like, good on paper, but bad when it really matters. Yeah. Bad in playoff games, when teams really need to go down there and win it. Because, when the Vikings were in the NFC divisional round and beat the Saints, it wasn't Kirk Cousins behind the center. It was Case Keenum.
Case Keenum.
Yeah.
My man.
So, going off that, sort of not really a similar situation. This is sort of a weird situation going on in Oakland. What is it going to take to fix Oakland?
Fix Oakland. Well, Gruden signed a 10-year deal, right?
Yeah. Guaranteed money.
Guaranteed money, right? There's also the question, where is Oakland going to be? Are they going to be the Las Vegas Raiders? I mean, I heard today that they're going to be playing in San Francisco for the next season.
Yeah, for the 2019-2020
So are they?
season.
This is actually kind of going. I'm not actually sure. They're still going to be the Oakland Raiders, though, or they're just going to be playing in San Francisco. Right?
Yes, until they make the official move to Las Vegas.
But that is more than likely not going to happen. They will be in Las Vegas at some point.
Yes.
All right. So right now you have a lot of that up in the air, which is just, I think it hurts the team. But this team has a ton of draft capital. John Gruden's got to feel like he's putting together, like, I don't know, like he's in college getting his draft class ready. I think it's going to take time. And I think they have to make a decision on Derek Carr. Is Derek Carr their franchise quarterback? I have liked what I've seen, but I haven't loved what I've seen from Derek Carr in his career so far. And you got to make a decision soon, I think. If Derek Carr is not your guy, you got to get him out now and find your guy.
But yeah, that will be the third guy that Gruden has run out of town. He got rid of Khalil Mack, got rid of Amari Cooper.
Yep, they got a lot of draft capital. That's Gruden's MO right now. Stock up on draft picks, build a team from the ground up. So we'll see if it works. I mean, this is a rebuild in earnest, if ever there was one.
True. All right, final question from you. Hit me.
All right, this is hitting a little close to home, but
God.
Where are Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell going to be playing next year?
Well, I can tell you for a fact, I don't want to see him in Pittsburgh. I don't want to see these guys in Pittsburgh.
Too much drama?
Too much. They are divas, as Juju Smith-Schuster pointed out. We cannot have a team full of divas and expect to play for a championship. Bell especially. I mean, when you're moaning for more money and stuff, it's just it's a team sport. Everybody on that team contributes, and you're hurting the team's chances of winning by taking yourself out of the game. Yes, you're one of the best backs in the NFL. Yes, you have a right to argue for more pay, but this is the Steelers. We're a team, that goes all the way back to the 70s. We play hard. We play for each other, and we don't make a fuss. And to have, Bell and Brown out there, just going out there, just acting like fools, it hurts. It hurts the team. It hurts the fan base. It creates all this, it hurts the locker room too. Because Roethlisberger's been put in a terrible position too. Because now, you have the league office sort of siding with Roethlisberger, trying to extend his contract. Brown's not getting that same deal. So Where Bell's going to end up, I don't know. I don't know if he's been, working out. I don't know if he's in football shape. He has the entire offseason, so obviously he can probably get himself in shape, but I don't know if he'll train with a team. I don't think he will be on the Steelers. He'll probably either be traded or he's a free agent this offseason, so he'll probably go somewhere else. Brown, speculation is that he may go to the 49ers.
That would be huge. With Garoppolo.
Yep, Garoppolo coming back from the ACL injury. I don't know exactly what other weapons that the 49ers have, but that would be a huge addition for them and make they have a chance at maybe a wild card play in the NFC.
I would love, I mean, this isn't the question, but 49ers are going to be a fun team to watch next year if Garoppolo is healthy.
Yeah, and if the Seahawks continue to sort of diminish, in terms of overall prowess and presence in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
But, that's probably best guess, not in Pittsburgh for Brown and probably in San Francisco. And all right, final question from me. Final question. Can the Falcons and Matt Ryan get things on track down in Atlanta and utilize the talent they have to make a run in the playoffs ever again?
I put Matt Ryan. I love Matt Ryan, Boston College grad. Gotta love him. I put him as tier below Phillip Rivers, a guy, great quarterback.
Great on paper.
Can win you games. Can even win you big regular season games. Cannot do it in the playoffs. He showed it. In Super Bowl 51, he showed he's not that guy. He doesn't have the clutch gene. And maybe that's harsh, but I don't care. I think I don't see them winning a Super Bowl with Matt Ryan. And I think there's a good chance Julio Jones ends up leaving sometime in the future to go play for a contender because he's such a great talent, and I think he wants to win. I don't think he wants to be a guy that's gonna be remembered as like, oh, he's such a great talent but never had a ring. Because I think some guys this isn't the case, but I don't know. Julio Jones is a competitor, and I think he wants to win a ring. So I don't think he'll ever be a Patriot because he's very expensive. But
don't want to pay that premium, right?
No, they will not pay that premium. But I think another team will, and I hope the best for him. But yeah, I don't see them. I don't see them winning a Super Bowl or making a deep playoff run, especially with how competitive the NFC is.
Yeah, especially the NFC South with the Saints, Panthers. Bucks, I don't know if they'll get it together, really. But Jameis Winston, maybe.
He's good.
They have a lot of talent. Mike Evans.
They do have talent.
Carolina, anything can happen with Cam Newton.
Cam Newton.
If he can get his completion percentage above 60% for once.
I don't even think he needs to do that. Maybe if they want to run with him less and not kill him, but
hey, you never know. They may get flags out of that. Push him down the field a bit more.
Oh, you hit me in the arm. 15 yards roughing the passer.
Well, Cam, they hit him in the damn head all the time and stuff, and that's what really scares a lot of Panthers fans, I know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, good answer for that question.
I like these questions. I liked it. You did a good job.
So overall, NFL season, pretty good one overall. A lot of offense, a lot of drama.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of ended on a weird note.
Very interesting.
Very, very dry. Not very interesting at all.
It was interesting in the fact that it was so different from what anyone expected. And I'm happy. It ended the way that you hope it ends for your team. Even though it was not how I expected.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you all for listening to this to this podcast, our first podcast,
first episode.
We will be this will be on YouTube and SoundCloud for anybody who wants to listen on different mediums or who has a medium of choice in order to listen to this. It'll be under Foulin Out with Raymond and John.
I'm Raymond.
Yes, and I am John.
In case you forgot,
just
recap.
It's been a long podcast.
Long one. 55 minutes. Wow. We talked for a while.
We did talk for a while, but I think it was some good conversation that provoked a lot of deep thought and some insight that maybe some people can walk away with.
Yeah.
So
I didn't think very deeply. I'm pretty dull, actually.
Dang it. Well, next time we got to get our shit together for next time.
Oh, jeez.
Well, pressure's on for next time, and
what's going to be coming next time, John? Why don't you hit the listeners with what they can expect.
With the itinerary. All right. So, unfortunately, NFL's over. Or fortunately, if you don't like the NFL. Mm-hmm. So, we are going to be talking about NBA.
Mm-hmm. I like the NBA.
Oh, I like the NBA too. You know, them Celtics, they've been doing pretty well recently. Yeah. You know, we're going to be keeping up with the ongoing Anthony Davis story. Oh. We'll keep you up to date on all the big games that happen this upcoming week. Mm-hmm. And in addition, we will also be having a college basketball discussion on Bubble Watch.
Bubble Watch.
Which teams are on the bubble for the NCAA tournament this upcoming March. And as well as any big games that go on. Maybe catch up on what Zion Williamson and the Flying Duke Blue Devils have been doing. And, of course, our favorite team, the Virginia Tech Hokies. Yeah. Represent Hokie Nation.
Oh, I did that wrong. BT.
That's okay. Well, we can fix that for next time, Raymond. There you go.
Thanks.
So, just thank you all for listening.
Yeah. It was really fun.
Really fun. And
good talking to you, John.
Good talking to you, too, Raymond. And hope to see you next time for our next podcast this upcoming Sunday.
Yeah, we're going to record a Sunday night. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be Sunday.
Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier!